The snow came down in thick, heavy sheets, blanketing the highway in silence. Inside a roadside cafe in northern Montana, Christian Matthews, a rugged single dad with soft eyes and calloused hands, stirred his coffee absent-mindedly. He wasn't thinking about work or the cabin he built with his own hands. He was thinking about his daughter, Emily, and how quiet life had gotten since she left for college. Just then, through the fogged-up window, Christian spotted a woman standing beside a broken-down van. Her uniform was worn. Her boots looked like they'd survived more battles than any person should. Around her, 6 children huddled close for warmth. Their eyes darted to the cafe with silent longing. Christian didn't think. He moved. He rushed outside, coat unzipped, heart pounding. "Ma'am? You okay?" he asked. The woman straightened. There was a firmness in her voice, but also weariness. "We're fine, sir. Just waiting on a tow that's never coming, I think." "You've got 6 little ones freezing in the snow," Christian said. "That's not fine. I'm Sergeant Hannah Brooks. Recently discharged." "We're between places right now," she replied. Her tone tried to stay firm, military. But the crack in her voice when one of the kids whimpered betrayed the truth. Christian glanced at the kids. 2 girls clung to each other, a toddler cried softly in a stroller, and the older boy stood guard like he was 10 going on 30. "Come inside," Christian said. "Let me buy y'all a warm meal." She hesitated, pride flickering in her eyes. But her children's shivering shoulders told her pride had to wait. Inside the cafe, Christian ordered them pancakes, cocoa, and eggs. The kids devoured every bite like they hadn't eaten in days. Hannah barely touched hers. "You didn't have to do this," she said softly. "I know," he replied. "But I wanted to." They sat in a corner booth for hours. Hannah shared how she lost her husband overseas. Her last tour left her with scars the VA barely recognized. She'd been trying to get housing, juggling paperwork and her kids, but the system was slow, and winters were faster. Christian told her about his daughter Emily, how he raised her alone after his wife died in childbirth. He talked about building his cabin deep in the woods, raising chickens, and growing old and quiet. Christian told her about his daughter Emily, how he raised her alone after his wife died in childbirth. He talked about building his cabin deep in the woods, raising chickens, and growing old and quiet. "You ever consider having noise again?" Hannah asked with a wry smile, nodding toward her kids. Christian chuckled. "Can't say I have. But maybe. I wouldn't mind it." They said goodbye that night. Christian slipped her a card, just in case. He watched them disappear into the snow, a mother and her army of children. He thought he'd never see them again. 3 days later, he did. A knock on his cabin door interrupted his breakfast. When he opened it, there they were, soaked from head to toe. The van had finally given up. The temporary shelter kicked them out after a paperwork error. They had nowhere left to turn. Christian looked at Hannah. "You came." "I didn't know who else to trust," she said, her voice cracking. "I'm sorry." "You have nothing to be sorry for," Christian said, stepping aside. "Come in." That night, the once quiet cabin roared with life. Kids laughed. The baby giggled as Christian tried to change a diaper with 2 left hands. Hannah looked on, exhausted, but relieved. But joy wasn't the only thing to arrive with them. Challenges came quick. The youngest, Daisy, had asthma. One night, her breathing turned ragged and shallow. Christian drove through a blizzard to get her to the ER. Hannah sobbed in the passenger seat, holding her baby, whispering prayers with trembling lips. Then came the trouble from the school district. The kids couldn't enroll without permanent residency documents. Christian spent days calling officials, fighting red tape. He even stood before the school board, advocating for the kids like they were his.